Oh, hello. My name is Sydney Watson, and I am a media culture and the arts major at the King's College in New York City. Today we are going to test drive some big ideas about business tax breaks. Call it what you will. I'll call it a crash course in economics. This is Business with Brenberg.
Wow! Come on, move it on. That's it. I know you're wrong.
Hey, Sydney.
Hey, how's it going?
How you doing? Nice to see you.
Nice to see you as well.
What are you studying here at King's?
Media culture and the arts.
Okay.
I eat glitter for breakfast.
Even if you eat glitter for breakfast and lunch and dinner, I mean, you still got to think about, well, who do I get the glitter from and how do I get the glitter at a price I can afford?
Speaking of business, what are business tax breaks?
Some deduction or some workaround or some special treatment that somebody gets for their taxes. So you might ask, like, well, why does some people get a tax break and some people not get a tax break? And it comes down to politics. A lot of times it's the case that, you know, a local politician or a state politician says, we really want this business in our town or this business in our state, and so we're willing to not make them pay taxes for a while in order to attract them here. So it's a question of fairness. Like, really, should businesses get tax breaks just because they're big, just because they're politically connected?
Given that it is kind of a game of fairness, if you give certain businesses tax breaks and other businesses either don't get tax breaks or don't get the same amount of said tax break, how does that encourage certain kinds of business and discourage others? And is that an intrinsically bad thing? Anytime
a government gives a certain kind of business a tax break, it's favoring that kind of business. In fact, it's favoring that specific business over anybody else. One of the critiques that an economist would make would be politicians are unlikely to know which business or which industry is really going to be the best business or the best industry going forward. So why are they in the position of giving a special break to certain businesses and at the same time, therefore, disadvantaging other businesses? Why not make it even, and let's see through competition, through the market, which business is actually the one that ought to be in that town, that ought to be growing up, that ought to be employing people?
The government has to get its money from somewhere, and most of that money does come from taxation. If businesses aren't paying X amount of dollars in taxes, it has to come from other places, i.e. individuals. What do business tax breaks create for the individual? And is that a bad thing?
This to me is really a justice issue. The guys who get the tax breaks, the businesses that get the tax breaks, are usually the ones who have the strongest political connections. If a business gets a tax break, it's paying fewer taxes, lower taxes, and that means somebody else is going to have to pick up that burden. And so you think about what kind of economy do you want at the local level? Well, I want one where you don't have to be a political insider to get special breaks. I don't want it to be the case that I have to have a friend in government or I have to be in the boys club or whatever it might be in order to get that break. Anybody who's got a good idea should have the opportunity to start a business there. That to me is real justice, and these special breaks for businesses are really an injustice because they do disfavor those who aren't politically connected, who don't have the power right now. So Sydney, it was awesome to meet someone from the Midwest, a fellow cold state resident. I hope you have a great Christmas time and a good trip back home. And thanks for the good questions on business and business tax breaks. Hope it was helpful.
I learned a lot about the ethical implications of business tax breaks and the good and bad of what they can do to the people involved. This has been Business with Brenberg. Thank you for watching. I have to run and study for finals.